Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about some books that I read this month. I didn't read many books. I feel like it was a very busy month and it also flew by. And I feel like I haven't done anything, but at the same time I feel like I've done so much. Very strange. So I only have a couple books to talk about this month. So the first book that I read is The Crims, and I talked about that in one of my other videos, my library haul. It's a kid's book. It is like an English kids book, so it was based in London, which was interesting. A couple of books that I read were based in the UK. I read that one, and also the Alistair Grimm's Auditorium was also based in London, so that was interesting. So The Crims, it was a really good book. It was a kid's book. I read a lot of kids' books this month and also last month, but it was really good. This family is known for being like criminals, but they're really bad at it, and the daughter goes away to school because she wants to become like a proper lady and doesn't want to be mixed in with that crowd. But someone tells the principal, I guess, that she is actually not who she said she was, and her family is full of criminals, and she gets kicked out of school and has to go back home with her family, and they're all in jail for a crime that they claim they committed, but she's like, there's no way you actually went through with this. It was interesting because the family's in jail and she's trying to figure out what happened, who planned it, what is going on basically, while still trying to go back to school because she wants to still be proper. She doesn't want to be a criminal. She doesn't want to be with these people. So she's like, I need to clear my name. I need to go back to school. I need to get this over with so I can move on. Very interesting, very zany, very weird book, but I really liked it. Next is The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. Apparently this is a series, but I only read that one, and apparently that's the first one that I think. So this one was about this family is going to get kicked out right before the holidays, like right around the holidays, right around Christmas time. Their lease is going to be up and their landlord isn't renewing the lease, and they're trying to save their home. They want to stay there. They love it. They're very connected to the home. There's like 6 kids, I think. There's a lot of kids, and the parents, and they love that place and they really want to live there. They want to stay there. They want that to be like their forever home. So the kids try to like figure out all these different schemes and stuff so that way the landlord wants them to stay. And like the whole book is just all of these schemes, all of these different things that they're going to try to do so that way the landlord can't possibly say no and they would want them to stay. So that was another pretty good one. That was another kid's book. I liked it. Kind of same with The Crims, like they were good, but like I'm not going to read the next one. You know, they're nothing like spectacular. They're just pretty good kids' books. So I liked those. The final one of the books that I don't have in my hand because I already returned these to the library, Mr. Limoncello's Great Library Race. So this is the 3rd book in the Limoncello series. My library still doesn't have book 4. I'm a little bummed about that. I really want book 4. I might have to like bite the bullet and get like the Kindle version and read it that way, because I haven't seen it on like Overdrive or Libby or anything like that, so I might actually have to buy a book. What? So I'm okay with that though. It's a really good series. I love it. I think it's really funny. It's very well done. The characters are really great and I really like it. So this is another one like all the other Limoncello books where he's a billionaire and all these kids are competing so they can be part of commercials and stuff and really represent the brand of Limoncello, and it was really good. They're all really good, so I really liked that one. I definitely want to read book 4, but I'm also not really in a hurry. I'm like, you know, I like those, but I'm not running out to get the next one. I'm just kind of like taking it slow. The next book is kind of weird. It's Cracked Classics, Trapped in Transylvania, Dracula. This is another kid's book. I only have one non-kids book that I read this month, actually. This book kind of reminded me of Land of Stories because the kids like jump into a book. They're like in the book, and I have read Land of Stories. I've had a couple people suggested to me, and I've already read them, and they're very good. This one, these kids hate reading, they hate studying, they hate school, and they get transported into Dracula. Everybody around them was a character in the book. They couldn't tell them what was happening next or anything. You couldn't be like, that guy's a vampire. They'd be like, cool, and then you just keep on going because you can't ruin the plot for the characters. They have to live it. They have to experience it. So it was pretty cute, pretty lame, but it's so tiny that like I'd read more of these. It's funny and they're like kind of dumb. And this has actually been from 2002. Pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was pretty great. Definitely not a book I'd want to like pay for, but a good like, I don't know, like hour of your time spent is pretty good. Dropped it. Next is To Dance, a ballerina's graphic novel. It looks like this, and it's pretty. It's a graphic novel. It's like the only graphic novel I've read for a long time, maybe even this year. I don't think I've read a graphic novel this year. That's sad. Well, anyway, I really liked it. It was like a memoir, so the author was Sienna Cherzen Siegel. So she talked about her life growing up and being a ballerina, and it was very interesting. When I was younger, I was very interested in dance. I really wanted to either do tap or ballet, but I was the lamest, shyest little child, and I would do it if like my mom would do it with me, but obviously she's not going to go to like a dance studio with 5-year-olds and like dance next to them, you know? So she was like, you got to do this by yourself. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm good. I kind of wish I actually did do some ballet or something, because I'm so uncoordinated, I'm so inflexible, and I feel like when you're a kid, you could do anything. And I feel like that definitely would have helped me now, because I'm so out of shape, and I think if I did something like dance when I was younger, I'd be more in shape. And I feel like I'd be less selfish too, because I feel like when you're on a team, you really have to understand that you're not the only person that exists in the world, and I didn't really have that. I was never on a team. I never did anything when I was a kid, and I really wish I did. That would have been nice. But this was nice. This was a good little book, and it's all in color, which I love. I love color graphic novels, and it was very interesting. It was cool to hear someone actually do stuff as a ballerina, because that was like one of my dreams when I was a kid. Especially because the You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's ballet party, I've watched that VHS tape so many times. I still own it. If you saw my Mary-Kate and Ashley collection, I hoard Mary-Kate and Ashley stuff, and that movie was very special to me when I was growing up. And they were in New York. They knew a ballerina or whatever, and then they started learning ballet moves and everything and wearing the little tutus, and I was just like obsessed with that movie and really wanted to be a ballerina, and then never did anything with my life. So next is my favorite book I've read for a while. I really loved this book, and I've actually had it on my radar of books to read for a couple months now. I think it was maybe Overdrive or something. It was one of those. I saw this on and I was like, ooh, I really want to read that. And then I like stopped reading ebooks. For a while there, I was obsessed with ebooks. Every book I would read would be an ebook. But now I'm really into like tangible books that I can hold. So I don't read ebooks anymore, which is weird. It's strange how I like flip back and forth. I think I saw this at the library. I don't think I held it. I think I was just at the library and saw it there and was like, oh, I definitely have to get that book. And it's Greetings from Witness Protection. I thought this book was like the coolest idea ever, and I was very excited to finally get to read it after wanting it for many months, and it was so good. So this girl is in foster care. Her dad was in jail for I think for like stealing or something. And then she was brought up by her grandmother, and then her grandmother died, so she was put in the foster system. She would go with a family, but it would never stick. Something would happen. She's been with like 4 different families, and nobody wanted to keep her or something. Something always went wrong. She was like stuck in the system. I think their U.S. Marshals come up to her, and they're like, hey, we need you to be with this family for witness protection because bad people are looking for them, but they're not looking for a family with a daughter. They're looking for a family with, you know, 1 son. So if you add to their family, then it'll throw them off their tracks and they won't really be looking for them. So she like joins this family and they move out and change their whole lives and everything. And it was really, really good. And she's also a kleptomaniac, so that was definitely an interesting part of it because she couldn't control it. When she would get really stressed, she would like swipe things, and she couldn't help it. Like she has so many like deep issues being in the foster care system, being all of these things that she had to deal with in her life. So it makes sense that there's some stuff that she can't control and she, like, you know, she has some problems with. So it was very interesting. It was a very, very good book. I absolutely loved it. And it was so well done, and I loved it. I think this is his first, yeah, this is his fictional debut. And it was so good. The author is Jake Burt. I hope he comes out with more books because this was absolutely amazing. I loved this book. The final book that I actually finished this month is Ruby Reinvented by Ronnie Arno. I read a million of these types of books that look like this that are by Mix, where it has some information on the back and then the other information is on the inside cover. It's a juvenile fiction book. Ruby has famous parents. She lives in LA. Her mom's a supermodel, her dad is a pitcher for baseball. Her friends only like her because they want to meet her parents. They really want to suck up to the parents. They don't really care about her. She decides to move from LA to Maine, all the way in Maine, to get away from everything and to be a normal person. And she just lies and says, oh yeah, my parents are dead. That way she doesn't have to tell them who her parents really are and doesn't have to like have friends who only like her for her parents, all of that. And she ends up meeting this boy, and his parents are dead too. She says, oh yeah, mine died the same way and everything, so now he gets like attached to her, and now they're like talking and everything. It's very interesting, but like, could you imagine just like telling people, oh yeah, my parents are dead, when they're not? One thing I didn't like about this book, I didn't really love this book. The whole book is about the fact that she tells people her parents are dead and they're famous and they might be coming, they might not, whatever. She's constantly like, oh my god, I hate that I have this secret. Ugh. I can't believe I'm lying to all of these people. The first time she said it, she should have been like, I don't know why I said that, that's not what happened, or something, you know, and didn't let it snowball into this big thing, because the whole book is about her being stressed out that she's lying to everybody about not having parents. Like, that could have easily been done by her saying, that didn't happen, I don't know why I said that. Well, she could just say my parents aren't around a lot, you know, and be like, I don't like talking about it, instead of saying that our parents are dead, you know. I don't know, I don't like that. That's ugh. She is used to getting everything she wants because she's rich and everything, and she wasn't the most likable character. I don't know, she was okay, but like, eh. So this book was alright. I've definitely read better in the Mix series that look like these. I think they have more interesting things than this because this wasn't very interesting. I don't know, it was okay, but like, meh. The book that I'm currently reading is P.S. I Love You by Casey West. This is the second book by her I've read. I don't remember what it's called. It's the one where the girl's trapped in the library with the boy. I loved the first book I read, but this one really, I don't like. I'm not loving it. I think she's kind of boring as a character. I think she's not very interesting. I don't know. She's trying to be like alternative and she's acting like she doesn't care, but it's weird. I don't like her as a character. But the idea is that she like scribbles some lyrics down on a desk at school, and then the next day someone continues the lyrics and then they start writing back and forth to each other. And I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know how it ends or even who it is that she's talking to yet, but I don't know. I just don't really like the main character very much, so it's kind of hard to like get into a book if you don't like the character. It's kind of how I felt with Leah on the Offbeat. I didn't like Leah, so it was like hard to push through and read the book because I just didn't like her, and I feel the same way about this character, but I'm gonna keep reading it because that's what I do. There's only been one book that I did not finish this year. I really try to finish every book I start. Even if I don't like it, I still want to finish it because there's so many things in my life that I don't finish. Like, I need to finish something that I start. So those were the books that I read this month. Not very many. I don't know, I haven't really been in the reading mood very much. It hasn't really been something I've wanted to do. I don't know. I've mostly been watching YouTube videos like always. I haven't really been focusing on reading. When it's not so disgustingly hot outside, I like to sit outside and read, but it's gross out there and I'm not going out there. So that makes things really hard because I don't like reading inside. The TV is always on. My parents are always watching TV. I can't like concentrate reading when that's happening. Sometimes like I'll read upstairs in my room, but also I don't like being alone all that much. I'd rather be downstairs with everybody else. I don't know, I have to be in the right mood to read, but when it's like 70, 80 degrees outside, I love reading outside, but it's like 90 something degrees and it's wet and disgusting and I do not want to be out there. So it's really putting a damper on my reading. It's such a bummer because I have a couple more books that I have gotten from the library that I haven't even started yet. Those are the books I read this month. Let me know what you've been reading, if you've been reading a lot or a little, if you've read like weird stuff this month, like went out of your comfort zone and read something you didn't think you'd ever read or whatever. Hopefully next month I'll read a couple more books because I haven't really read that many this month. It's a pretty short list, kind of sad. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.